Good evening. Mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true power. Welcome to BMC News Live in English, brought to you by Al Hilal Hospital and Medical Centers. I am Vinod Narayanan, joining you with the latest news updates. Today's headlines.
Call to extend job notice period to 120 days in Bahrain. Spring of Culture Festival begins in Bahrain. No PCR tests for vaccinated travelers from India to UAE. Saudi starts phase 2 of issuing e-passport. No age restrictions in Saudi to enter holy mosques.
News in detail. Call to extend job notice period to 120 days in Bahrain. Parliamentarians are expected to discuss in their next session a draft Shura law obligating employees to notify their employers at least 120 days in advance to leave their work. The draft law calls for extending the notice period to more than 30 and not exceeding 120 days. The move aims at preventing job contract terminations from affecting business sectors adversely. The government, the General Federation of Bahrain Trade Unions and the House Services Committee opposed the law, whereas Bahrain Chamber expressed its support for the law. Special Investigation Unit to organize regional conference. Under the patronage of Attorney General Dr. Ali bin Fadl Al Buyanin, the Special Investigation Unit will organize, in cooperation with the United Nations Development Programme and the Institute of Judicial and Legal Studies, on February 27th, an online regional conference on the active role of the national institutions in protecting and promoting human rights. The event will be organized to mark the 10th anniversary of the establishment of the Special Investigation Unit as an independent judicial body which is part of the national mechanisms concerned with the protection of human rights in the criminal justice system. 31,099 recipients received unemployment benefit in 2021, said Labour Minister. The number of recipients who benefited from the insurance against unemployment topped 31,099 in 2021, said Labour Minister Jamil bin Mohammed Al Humaydan. He pointed out that the unemployment benefit has not been discontinued for any beneficiary who meets the eligibility conditions in accordance with the unemployment insurance law. He added that amendments that were made to the unemployment insurance law promulgated by Law No. 78 aim to keep pace with the economic requirements of Bahraini job seekers. A new clause was added to the unemployment insurance law to disperse financial support to sectors affected by the pandemic, as controls were established stipulating entitlement to financial support to pay the wages of Bahraini workers on these facilities, which contributed to their protection and job stability in 12 sectors, he said. Labour Minister inaugurated pre-employment training and education exhibition. Minister of Labour and Social Development Jamil bin Mohammed Ali Humaydan inaugurated the 11th Bahrain Exhibition for Pre-Employment Training and Education 2022 and Education and Labour Market Forum on February 27th to 28th. The exhibition aims to introduce university graduates and high school students to the available educational, training and career opportunities, the labour market needs and the skills required in various sectors. The participating companies and institutions will introduce available job and training opportunities to attract Bahrainis in the labour market. Humaydan stressed that such events provide the opportunity for students expected to graduate to familiarize themselves with the current and future needs of the labour market and what are the required basic and specialized skills for different professions. Spring of Culture Festival begins in Bahrain. The 16th Spring of Culture Festival will kick off today at the Bahrain National Theatre with a contemporary dance show, Akhenaten, Dust of Light by Walid Avni. The launch also coincides with the Arab Tourism Day adopted in 2013 when Manama was the capital of Arab tourism. The show Akhenaten, Dust of Light embodies the personality of Akhenaten through expressive dance and theatrical scenes that take the audience back in time by more than 3,000 years. Kaspersky reports on the abnormal decline of the mobile malware in Bahrain. While analyzing the threat landscape of the Bahrain, Kaspersky saw a steady decline in attacks on mobile devices in the region. The overall mobile malware attacks have decreased by 13%. The risk has fallen by 47% as cyber criminals consolidated their efforts to focus on more complicated, dangerous, and profitable threats instead. These and other findings are featured in Kaspersky's Mobile Threats in 2021 report. Other countries in Middle East faced a similar trend. Egypt saw a staggering 52% decrease, followed by Qatar 47%, Kuwait 46%, UAE 29%, and Oman 27%. The only two countries where the dynamic was different were Saudi Arabia with a 19% increase and Turkey, where the share increased by an anomalous 67%. Today's COVID updates.
COVID updates brought to you by Al Hilal Hospital and Medical Centers.
Speaker reviewed Bahrain-India relations. Speaker Fawzia bint Abdullah Zainal received Indian Ambassador Piyush Srivastava. The two sides discussed the historical bilateral relations and remarkable cooperation they witness in various development fields. They reviewed strengthening cooperation in the parliamentary field to achieve the common interests. No PCR tests for vaccinated travelers from India to UAE. UAE-bound fully vaccinated passengers from any destination in India don't require a pre-travel COVID-19 PCR test result. For travel from India to UAE, Air India Express said that the updated requirements for the vaccinated and unvaccinated guests are effective from Saturday. Fully vaccinated passengers must present a valid vaccination certificate reflecting completion of both doses of the vaccine approved by the WHO or the UAE, provided with a QR code system. Unvaccinated passengers must present a valid negative COVID-19 test certificate issued within 48 hours from the time of collecting the sample. Now we will be back after a very short break.
The 16th branch of Megamart and Macromart supermarkets in Bahrain has opened in Sahla. The best offers are available to the customers at affordable rates. Everyone is welcome. During and around the opening day, a variety of fish including salmon, meat and dairy products, roastery, frozen items, food and non-food items, groceries, fruits and vegetables, electronics, garments and ready-to-eat food items are available to the customers at affordable rates. Hearty welcome to all. Megamart and Macromart, your favorite shopping destination.
Welcome back. India's efforts to evacuate its citizens from the crisis zone were severely hampered when Ukraine barred its airspace. According to Ukraine's Ministry of Education and Science, there are around 18,095 Indian students in the country. In 2020, 24% of its overseas students were from India. Ukraine ranks 4th in Europe for having the largest number of graduate and postgraduate specializations in the field of medicine. Some of Ukraine's state-run universities are well known for providing high-quality education, and Indian parents choose to send their children to these institutions rather than pay a high cost for a lesser-known private medical college in India. Ukrainian medical colleges are a good scent for students who are unable to get seats in government colleges or afford the hefty prices charged by private institutions in India. A 6-year medical degree in Ukraine costs rupees 1.7 million, less than private medical colleges in India, and is a popular choice for those who do not have the grades to enter publicly funded Indian institutions. When students return to India with foreign MBBS degrees, they must take the National Board of Examinations Foreign Medical Graduate Exam to receive a license to practice medicine in India. Nearly 4,000 students with medical degrees from Ukraine take the FMGE each year, but only about 700 pass. However, the lower pass rate does not dissuade students from enrolling in Ukrainian universities. Another reason why Indian students choose Ukraine to study medicine is that there is no entrance exams to pass in order to gain admission to medical schools. Students also remarked that because English is the medium of instruction, it is simple for them and they do not have to worry about learning a foreign language as they would if they were in another nation. Saudi starts phase 2 of issuing e-passport. The General Directorate of Passports announced on Saturday the start of implementing the second phase of issuing the Saudi e-passport. Citizens who wish to obtain the Saudi e-passport can now benefit from the service by checking all the passports departments in all regions of Saudi Arabia. The Saudi e-passport will be delivered to the beneficiary within 3 to 5 working days. No age restrictions in Saudi to enter holy mosques. There is no age requirement for Umrah pilgrims to enter the 2 holy mosques, the Ministry of Hajj and Umrah announced on Saturday. The ministry said that in order to issue a permit to enter the 2 holy mosques via the Et Marna application, worshippers must have their health condition as immune in the Tawakkalana application. Wearing masks and maintaining physical distancing are still implemented in the Grand Mosque in Makkah and the Prophet's Mosque in Medina. Saudi food supply stable amid Russia-Ukraine conflict. Food supplies and reserves in Saudi Arabia are stable and there are no concerns about its abundance in local markets amid the current Russian-Ukrainian crisis. The supply chains of agricultural, animal and food commodities are safe, reliable and continuous in light of the volume of local production of many basic commodities and the achievement of high sufficiency rates for many of them. Australia floods kill 7 as severe weather pummels Queensland. The death toll from flash flooding in Australia's northeast rose to 7 on Sunday as a severe storm system pummeled the city of Brisbane and the southeast of the states of Queensland. The state's premier compared the weather to a cyclone event as Brisbane, the Queensland capital, was bracing for flooding on Sunday before the rainfalls eased by Monday. A flood emergency has been in place across southeast Queensland, a state known for an abundance of sunshine. All Gold Coast and Sunshine Coast beaches, famous tourist attractions, have been closed, Reuters reported. With that, we come to the end of today's news. Stay tuned for daily news updates in BMC News Live English at 7:30 p.m. every day. I am Vinod Narayanan signing off from BMC News Live. Good night.